Say stuff. Can you hear me, people of the internet? Facebook. Woo! Boom! Welcome to Prime Time Live. I'm your host, Ming-Dee. Yeah. We are here, and we're here to talk about Tudum. You know what it is? No. It's to be this thing to where you watch the show and it pops right up, and it's a letter, but it's not A, and it's not an M, and it's not a LMP. Huh? No. We're talking about Netflix and the Tudum fan event. If you guys know the history of that, like I said, like I was trying to mouth to you, you didn't hear. It started out back in the pandemic, and it was just supposed to be like a convention, just like a Comic-Con convention or YouTube convention or any of that. Just supposed to be something small, but it did so well that they opened it up. They did another one for the Netflix International, I think in Venezuela or Spain for that whole thing, and it blew up even bigger. So they decided, we're gonna do a global event, and I'll have to say, it was 3 hours long, but I have to say that it was good. They broke it up in 3 different sections, and I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed not every bit of it, but I enjoyed what they did. So I'm going to give you just a basic rundown. Huh? It was a lot. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty much, if you've ever seen the Apple events that they do when Apple announces all their products or Samsung, whatever, it was similar to that. It was like people on stages telling you stuff, showing you things, and it just kept going. And then they showed another thing and another thing. Think of E3 but without the games, and and without the people going woo, and more green screens or whatnot. So but he's looking at weirdness. What's happening? Why are you looking like that? Oh, you're looking like it's like looking like that. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. As far as how they were able to hit everything, hit the globalness of it. They had some American or US themed shows, then they jumped to some European shows, then they jumped in movies and whatnot. Then they jumped to some more international, some India shows, and some an Australian show, and a lot of Korean K-pop, and just Korean stuff in general. And some were hits, some were misses, but overall, I think that they did what they wanted and did what they need to do, which was to tell you guys that Netflix is here. We got new content coming this fall, new content coming in January. Come watch this content. The shows you wanted and the things and the movies that you wanted are here and are back. Here it is. So now I'm gonna talk about. So that was my take for the overall. I enjoyed it for the most part. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoy how they really jumped into the international thing, and the fact that they had a lot of the subtitles was just there. Even on YouTube, the subtitles there. You have to go try to add the subtitles. I didn't watch it live. I watched the recording, so I'm not sure if live if you had to, add your own subtitles then. But other than that, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. They had they had 3 different hosts. They had one girl. I'm not necessarily sure where she's from. I'm sure she's from one of the India shows, or maybe she's a producer. But she was an India girl. Indian girl, sorry, and I can't. I want to say that I recognized her face, but just not who she was. But she held the first half, the first part anyway. The second part was by the by the two boys from Stranger Things, and they did a good job. I actually enjoyed what they were doing. Hammer in the building, sideways, leaning sideways, toys in the back. That's not how the song goes, but that's a good thing though, because we don't want to get demonetized for singing bad songs. Get cut off the air, or whatnot. But but the two boys from Stranger Things seemed to do well. They gelled well together, of course, because they're co-stars, so they were able to really play off each other and really do a good thing. And then the last one was the girl from Bridgerton. I haven't necessarily seen the show. I've heard rumors about it, but it looks good. It's one so it looks good. But I'm gonna get into that in a minute when I talk about the gems of the Tudum that I really enjoyed or whatnot. But she did a good job as she was very poised. She had the British voice. So she was very poised, and she brought the show to an end, and you didn't really get sleepy or anything like that. So it was pretty good. Like I said, it's 3 hours. So if you want to go watch it after this show, of course, go watch it, and you can see what we were talking about. So the gems. Oh, it was a bunch of gems, man. It was a bunch of gems. This is the section where I'm gonna name things I'm not going to necessarily go too in depth and talk about, but things that didn't really make my list of shows and movies I want to talk about. Vikings Valhalla. It was good. I've never seen it. And not just and Vikings and other things. I'm gonna say other things because I'm gonna get into that. Vikings and all the period type pieces. I'm really shocked because HBO Max and Showtime are usually the ones who do a lot of period pieces, a lot of the older pieces where you got some, like I said, you got Vikings, you got Romans, and things of that nature, right? You usually find those on HBO Max, find them on Showtime, but Netflix really has a lot of period pieces. They have Bridgerton, which is more forward in time, it's more like the Renaissance era, and apparently it's like, let's see, you take Riverdale, and I don't know, for some of the older ones, for older kids here like myself, you take, I don't know, Melrose Place or 90210, and you take certain parts of, I don't know, Game of Thrones and Shakespeare and mix it together, and you get that. And apparently it's really good. It's on season, I think, 2 now. And people really love that show. It was like one of the top 10 shows on Netflix, I think 3 or 4 weeks in a row, which is insane. I think it was number 2 or 3 for 3 weeks in a row. So it's insane. And Vikings of Valhalla was also another one. I don't think it was 3 weeks in a row, but I think it was like 1 or 2, and it stayed in the same spot. So that's pretty good. And Vikings is another one that's really interesting. So I actually got to see a little bit of that, so I'm actually excited about that one. I need to really watch it. I haven't had anything since Game of Thrones to really watch, so I might, really get into that. Another gem was they did this thing with all the women, and how the women talk with each other about girl power and how strong they are as actors, being in movies and the things they went through. And they talk about Zazie Beetz from I'm about to say Daredevil. What am I saying? From no, it's not Daredevil. From wow, from Deadpool, and I didn't notice about her. I didn't notice she was a stunt woman at first. That was her thing. She was a stunt woman, and she did that for years, and then she became into acting. They were just talking about the different things, that the scars and the different things you go through. Like one of the girls said that they had to do like a fight scene over and over, and they went through different fighting and cutting and different like that. Yo, what's up? Yes. Sorry. Yeah, but and that was really interesting to me. You got to hear each of the women like really talk about the physicality of their roles and the mental things they were going through, and then we got to see which was another gem I want to talk about, which was I can't remember the name of the movie. Maybe Hammer can help me out with this. It has Idris Elba's in it, and it has Regina King. It's coming on Netflix. It's a Western. But that was really good. That one was really good. Say it again.
Concrete Cowboy.
I think that's it. Yeah, it looked. They showed scenes from that. They showed a scene where we get to see Zazzy's character and Regina's character like have a shootout. I mean, man, that looks amazing. They talked about the whole thing behind it. I didn't know Jay-Z was behind the whole. I didn't know Jay-Z was a producer of it. That boy actually has a lot more talent than you got to get that boy credit for. You know, I mean, that movie looks good.
Yeah, he's just falling behind. I mean, I won't say falling behind, but he's, getting into his 50 Cent role,
True. Because 50 Cent, nobody knew about the talent he had. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that one was really good. And then another gem was Halle Berry. She has a movie coming out. She's directing, and she's gonna play like a boxer / MMA fighter. And that they didn't show much. They just showed her talking about it and showed different like little real quick clips. And it looks good. This is the best and the most physical I've seen Halle Berry in a long time. And, it makes up for some of the movies that she wasn't good in. And it makes up for some of the movies to where you felt like they could have gave her more choreography or more fight choreography. She looks really good in this. And it looks like it's going to be really emotional. It's about a mom who's a fighter. And, it's the classic story of a fighter because it's a fight movie, right? Y'all seen it before. Y'all seen these movies before. They live and they trying to fight. They're trying to get money to help for their family, and at the same time trying to be the best fighter they could be, but going through hardships, whatever that hardship is, whether they're poor, whether they're black, whether they're a woman, whether they're short. Yeah, I'm in a movie. It's a movie. Could be a movie about me. Get ready for it. It's not a movie about me. But there's different things like that. So, but it looks good though. She looks like she's selling it very well, and looks like she's doing a lot of her stunts. So there's that. So, I mean, and there's a lot more. Those are just a few gems that I saw and liked, and it was really dope or whatever. So I was really shocked at some of those things. So those are the gems. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's start with the movies. So movies, we're going to talk about Army of the Dead. Now, I've talked a little bit about this before. Now, I've seen more footage, and even, like I said, that women's panel, we got one of the girls in there who's on the movie in Army of the Dead. She talked about her role. We actually got to see her do a fight scene when she was like whooping everybody in the safe. And if you don't know what Army of the Dead is pretty much, it's weird. It's set in the same universe as Dawn of the Dead, I believe. I believe that's the same universe as Dawn of the Dead. If it's not Dawn of the Dead, forgive me. But you would know what you can do. If I got it wrong, you can subscribe, and in the comments, tell me how wrong I was, and then share it to everybody so they can tell me how wrong I was about, whatever the name of the movie was. Because I think it was, Dawn of the Dead. But if you disagree, why don't you, like, because you have to like your own comment, share on Facebook and tell everybody, to tell me I'm wrong, because maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe you're wrong. Now what? But it's based in those zombie movies. In one of those zombie movies, whatever, it's based in that. Now, I'm not sure if it's based before the outbreak happens or while the outbreak is happening or after the outbreak. But apparently they're trying to rob banks and supposed to be like intricate like combinations of banks, and it's in a Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, as we talked about before on the show, type of movie, and we actually got to see more of it. It really looks good. It actually makes a mention to Oceans. It's really funny, and you get to see them doing all kind of fights with other humans, and it seems like the zombies are gonna come into place. They didn't show too many of the zombies, so I'm assuming they're probably saving that for a different trailer. But so far, what I saw, it looks good. You got an Oceans team that does all this stuff, that's trying to get all this money and everything, Robin Hood style, in a zombie movie. So I was really loving that. It looked good. It was one of the the big sellers for me. Moving on. let's talk about.
You know, did you mention it was the prequel to the Army of the Dead?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. See, boom. Thanks for commenting and sharing on Facebook and everybody, because I was wrong. It's okay. But so that if it's the prequel, then it's exactly what I was thinking, which means it's before the outbreak or like right before the outbreak, kind of Resident Evil style. Like the virus is starting to spread, but it hasn't fully spread. So
maybe it was
and which would make sense.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's a good maybe. So now I have to watch it. Since now I got to find out what's in the vault.
They're also overseeing an anime spinoff for Army of the Dead Lost Vegas. Lost,
like with a T?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Good play on words. Whoever did that, good job. Good job to that guy. They lost to Vegas. That's funny. So the next one
is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh my God, that was bad. That was just bad. That you didn't even try.
When it gets lost in Vegas.
So stupid. That was bad.
I didn't even have to try with that one. It just came off the words. Anyway, go ahead.
So bad. Even Hammer shook his head. He's like, no.
I don't want to talk about Hammer. He's just gonna come in, not say a word, not introduce us. Hey, what up, bro?
This is Hammer in the building, because we already did it. When he came in, we were like, Hammer in the building, and I sung a song.
And he didn't say nothing. He did
this.
Muted. Yeah, didn't do nothing.
And then he talked about the concrete cowboy.
My presence is enough. I don't have to speak.
Oh, we know now. We know why you're not speaking, because that crappy internet. Go ahead, mute back.
You shut your mouth.
No. So now we're gonna talk about
rude.
So now we're gonna talk about Extraction 2. Yep, I said it. Extraction 2. Now this one, Chris Hemsworth, they actually had him on the show. Oh, that's something else I'm talking about. They had, other than the girl celebrities I talked about, they actually had more like Chris Hemsworth, Henry Cavill, and others. The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that's like say his name. And they actually came on, which I thought was dope that Netflix was able to, get them to do things. But then again, if they're doing movies on the platform, it shouldn't be too hard. So it's whatever. So, it's just like if The Rock was doing a Get Nerdy movie, I'm sure he wouldn't mind doing a Get Nerdy promo, right? It would make a lot of sense. He wouldn't just say, no, because he's doing our movie for us. So therefore he would get on and come on and say, hey, Snake, Hammer, and Ming-Dee? And he do the odd thing, and he be like, well, I'm playing one of those guys. And he in the suburbs said, yeah, I know how he talks. Anyway, point being, Extraction 2, Chris Hemsworth got on there, and he talked about how the movie's coming back, and he showed the clips from the last scene. So spoilers, if you haven't watched the movie, go watch it, because I'm going to spoil the movie. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, he died. He got shot in the neck, at the end of the movie. And the little kid was screaming. He was doing like this and everything. And then he tipped over the balcony of the bridge, fell to his death. And that was the end of the movie. No sequel. So why is there a sequel? Well, this is why there's a sequel, because apparently when Chris Hemsworth gave it away, he said, thank all my fans. I'm here in Australia. Just tell you this. Thank all the fans. You actually, if it wasn't for you, this movie would not be here. So I do appreciate it. Or something like that. I can't get his voice all the way correct. So technically, just like a Snyder cut, the fans must have been like, they weren't upset, but they were just like, it doesn't make sense. Why is he dead? Is he sure he's dead? He should come back. What's going on? So apparently, and I didn't know the Russo brothers were a part of this movie, so which is dope. They decided, okay, we'll bring him back. So I'm curious to see how he survives a fatal neck shot wound after he fell into the water. I kind of hate those. This small rant, real quick side note, because it seems like whenever someone gets shot fatally, but they fall in the water. I'm assuming it's like ambrosia water or holy water or water from Greece, or from Mount Olympus or whatever. And it's like the water. So it don't matter what water. It could be a bathtub. It could be a spring. It could be a lake. It could be the Amazon lake, dirty water. You fall in it, and it just happens to heal your body. And then sequel, they're alive. And then sometimes they don't even tell you. You just know they fell in the water, and in the sequel, they're alive. So I kind of don't. It's one of those plot devices that they do in movies that if you fall off a balcony into some water after getting shot, you can survive. And if you're a killer, you technically are immortal after that, and you kill everybody in the next 2 or 3 movies. So I don't know. I just don't like that plot device. I kind of wish they would do other things in other movies, but that's beside the point. Extraction 2 is coming out. I think it's going to be a dope movie because the first one was really good. I actually liked the cinematography. I liked Chris Hemsworth was very, very like physical and very raw in that movie more than he's been in other movies. So I actually liked that movie. So I can't wait to see what they do with this one. So there you go with that. Let's talk about the third movie, Old Guard 2. Now, the Old Guard 2 is interesting to me because I'm gonna spoil it. If you haven't seen the Old Guard, go watch it. Old Guard was, about these people who could not die, so to speak. And then like they kept, and then it's like each so some odd years somebody else would come around and you had another one. It was like it's a whole big thing. Go watch it. I'm not gonna reveal this too much to reveal in that part. But at the end, the main character, she apparently became mortal. So yes, I get that part away. And so apparently they're leading from that. And that's where the second movie is going to take place. So I'm wondering if they're going to give her her powers back, or if they're just going to have her fighting like a lot of immortal people. And because since she's been alive for so long, she has combat experience, technically of a god by now. She should be able, even in her human form, be able to tackle the most craziest of feats. So I'm interested. So we will see how that goes or whatever. Charlize Theron is in that. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I think it's gonna be dope. That one, really good. And then last movie, Red Notice. Oh man, that right, man. Gal Gadot never looked so sexy, And I'm look. I'm gonna be honest. Look, red. Okay, listen. Listen to me. You listen to me clearly, sir. Red dresses on girls who are girls or pretty girls. You put a red dress on a pretty girl, it enhances them. Like it's like a buff on a gun. It's like a new build.
I'm just saying she didn't
makes them look better.
She looks just like Wonder Woman.
You put
saying
it makes her. She was prettier because the red dress and the slit and the red dress, sir. The red dress.
Hey, she made the red blue dress. She worked the blue dress in Wonder Woman. So.
She did work the blue dress in Wonder Woman. She did
so,
but
like I said, she hadn't changed. It's the same. So I think you just have an obsession, and you sitting here telling.
I think you don't have an obsession enough.
I think you telling your fantasies. Just saying.
I don't think you have a fantasy. I don't think you putting your fantasies out there enough.
If you want me to, we can go that route.
Okay. That's fine. Because you know what? I don't even want your fantasies to. You know what? We're not gonna do this. We're gonna get back to the story because you're weird. But what was dope about this is that I didn't expect that scene. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't. So what was? They showed a scene. They really haven't seen much of the movie at all, and they showed a scene. First, The Rock explained it because he announced this movie. He explained how it's about an FBI agent supposed to be going after a con man that no one's ever seen, and an art thief. And when he said a con man that no one's ever seen, then I figured out that had to be the girl. And then they pretty much gave it away when they showed the scene. So the scene was a big, epic fight scene between all three of them. Well, more so between Gal Gadot's character and the art thief and the FBI agent, which I'm not necessarily sure why they're teaming up. I have a theory. The only thing I can think of is that they teamed up because the art thief was like, well, we have to stop her. So if I can I'll help you find the art because I know where she's going to go steal it. So we have to work together. And then the art thief is technically going to try to steal the art from the FBI agent or whatever. That's what I'm thinking. Or it could be the other way around. She could be the art thief and he could be the comment. I'm a little lost on the details on that part, but the fight was good. They walk in on her. And then apparently this is in the middle of the movie, I'm assuming, because she already knew who they were. They already knew her. And, it's like they've had banter before as the conversation inferred. And then The Rock, as the FBI agents normally do, or at least in shows and movies, they tend to go over the top. And he was like, "You're under arrest." And then the dude, and then Ryan Reynolds looked at him like, that wasn't, technically a part of the plan. And then she was like, "Come arrest me then." Like that big dude was like, "Come at me, bro," type thing. And then she pretty much beat them down. I mean, she beat them down effortlessly. So I don't know what her training is. Like I said, I'm not sure. They showed this, and so it's kind of like a red herring, kind of sort of, in my opinion, because I don't know why her character had all these skills. I don't know why him being an FBI agent, he wasn't able to best her. Maybe she thought she was cute. Maybe he don't want to hurt her because she's a girl. I don't know. It seemed like he tried. It seemed like she just beat him. And Ryan Reynolds was just goofy funny. It seemed like he had no training, nothing else. Like it seemed like she kind of picked on him a little bit, to be fair, because it seemed like every time she would do moves, she would just like toss him around for no reason. Like she did like this little flip thing, threw him through some glass, and she like kind of threw the rock down and just like halfway stepped on him and punched him and stuff like that. But she didn't do the rock halfway back to Ryan Reynolds. So I don't know if that was like just because his character is just that type of character, the goofy character is just supposed to get beat up. But it was interesting, and it caught my attention for what the movie gave, for what the little clip gave us, which wasn't much. I'm pretty sure you can go back and watch it and probably figure out some things. But for what it gave us, I was interested. I was like, okay, you know what? I can dig this. It's not overly serious. It's a comedy. The Rock is believable as an FBI agent. Him and Ryan Reynolds actually jail they actually jail. It doesn't seem like that they weren't going to, they're going to be incompatible. Because, I mean, you look at Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J, and you would think that they would have done good, but in any given Sunday, they really didn't gel well, and then you find out after that they really had issues. So you would think that since Ryan Reynolds doesn't really know The Rock well, I'm assuming that they would probably not have some issues, but they seem to work well in this scene. So I'm interested in that. And by the way, if you haven't understood this already, this is Tudum, or however they say it on the end thing, Netflix. All of these movies are coming out on Netflix only. This is exclusively to Netflix. So you have to have Netflix. So if you don't have Netflix, get Netflix. If you want, I think I can help you get Netflix and maybe get a discount. I don't know. I'm going to check. If I can, then holler at your boy, in the comment section. Say, hey, Mingo D, can you give me a discount? And if I can, I will. Hey, give me a discount. But that's not the point. Go get Netflix. Go get it and watch these movies because, they dope. I think Hammer was going to say they do or don't. I don't think he want to give it away because I don't know. He don't know either. All right, so let's move on to shows, which I'm really, 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 really times 100 excited for. So on the shows, let me see if I can remember all of them. I know the two at the end. Let's talk Cobra Kai. Yeah, so what's interesting about Cobra Kai to me is the fact that it's still on. Now, don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that Cobra Kai sucks or anything like that because it doesn't. I'm not saying that. It doesn't suck. What I'm saying is that when Cobra Kai first appeared on the scene, people were like, what? A Karate Kid spinoff? There's no way it's going to work because the last thing that people have seen was the one that Jaden Smith did, and it was a good rendition. It was like a somewhat reboot, so no one knew if this thing, the spinoff, was going to actually work, even though it brought back the old characters. And then, second thing, it was on YouTube, right? It was on YouTube TV. It was a YouTube exclusive original. And, people watch YouTube, but a lot of people don't go on YouTube to watch their originals. They watch their favorite YouTube star, get nerdy, or whatever. But they don't. Huh?
What's wrong?
What do you mean what's wrong?
You said that you said that you can't believe it's still on. So it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, you don't like Samantha from Cobra Kai?
No. What you see this hands thing? No, I'm explaining it because
ass, like
what was the hand? I don't think she'll beat me up like this. She might like stuff like that. But no, I was just shocked because I said when it was on YouTube, I know I didn't I took a small peek at it, but I wasn't. YouTube original shows never really caught my interest. This is a YouTube original show. It was like, well, I want to watch that. I can go watch these guys named Get Nerdy, or I could watch the Hacksmith, or I could just, watch some random, IGN video or something. It's like, that's usually what people normally go on YouTube for, or how to cook tacos in 10 seconds, and then that's what people use to YouTube, right?
Yeah, so when they had
so when Cobra Kai, and I think they had some dance shows and some other stuff that came on YouTube, it didn't really seem to take. Just like Facebook has their original shows, which I don't even know how that's even going right now. But apparently, as Netflix does, Netflix took that show. And I'm not saying they revived it, but I think they took it and said, you know what, it'll do better here, and more to give it more of a chance. And now it's on the 4th season, which is amazing, and it has more characters. Like if you haven't seen it, it's not just the original characters from the first 3 movies. There are even more. It's grown, and they've even took some Disney stars and brought them over to Cobra Kai, and the plot has changed. It's somewhat changed. It's still the basic plot of Karate Kid, which is dojo versus dojo, good versus bad, but they take it with a lot of gray areas. Good versus bad, but good is really bad, but bad is now with good, and now going against a brand new evil. It's kind of like the Power Rangers, Lord Zed's good, Lord Zed's not good. Oh, the machines, and so it's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe Ninja Turtles, because Shredder was always. I've never known Shredder to be good. Never. I don't think it was ever one episode Shredder was good. Nope. Don't remember one. But maybe I'm off. Let me know in the comments. So I'm excited about that. I think I'm gonna go try to catch up on all Cobra Kai. I think I've watched up to the 2nd season, so I'm way behind. So forgive me, but I do that sometimes. Next one I want to talk about is I wanted to say this one for last because I was really excited about this, but they didn't give me much content. But I was so excited at the same time. But the other two that I'm going to talk about later is just better, so I'm talking about it now. Sandman. Man. I said it twice, man. I'm excited about Rayman, man. See what we did there? That was good. We did good. Good job. Yeah. So, but I'm excited. What made me so excited about that is that it's a comic book. That it's an amazing comic book at that, or a comic book series at that. And it has a very cult following. And they've been trying to get this thing off the ground for about 30 years. No one wanted to pick it up. No NBCs, no HBOs. And the guy was like, but he thought that, but he believes that that this was meant, that Netflix was just the best thing. And like I said, if you watch the Tudum event, or if you know about this event, then you know that Netflix is global now, like completely global, more global than I think just about any of the others. As far as like how they approach things, I think more. It's kind of like, I hate to say this, I really do. I don't want to say. I'm gonna say it. I don't want to say it. I'm gonna say it. It's kind of like how Xbox Game Pass is and PlayStation isn't, because say it.
Huh?
However,
Huh? How you say? How you say?
Whatever. Because it seems like more
Speak up.
indies, more people from across the world want to work with Netflix. Seems like it's an easier platform to get on, just like Xbox and the Xbox Game Pass. Oh, the indies, I don't want to work with Xbox. Whatever. Point is, whatever. Point is that it seems like it's the only comparison I have. If I had another comparison, I would have said it, but I don't. So whatever.
Too bad you can't compare it with PlayStation. Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. PlayStation has indies. They just a little hard to work with. Whatever. At least that's what I've heard. But I've actually heard the new platform. This is not to get down. Leave me alone, sir. Get down. It's Wednesday. He would talk about stuff like that. You leave me alone.
You started.
I just want to make the comparison. I just made the comparison. I'm done.
Yeah.
Done.
You did
I'll talk about it. Just leave me alone. No, but and what's great about Sandman is that Netflix is all in, as they are with a lot of their anime stuff and with a lot of the live action stuff, which more recent, because we could talk about Death Note another time, and that's ugh. But they're all in about trying to keep it completely to the comic, as best as they can. Of course, this TV is still gonna change some things up here and there, but they're being completely to the comic. And they showed a scene with the guy with the creature named Dream, because apparently it's supposed to be that you're able to summon these different people. You could summon Dream, you could summon Death, and you could summon all these others, whatever. And it's supposed to go into the whole mythos of the Sandman. And the part that they showed the scene of like the old guy like summoning and cutting his arm and doing all this other stuff like that. And then it showed one of the creatures, I forgot what they're naming them. They said how they named the name for all of them, like how you have mutants for everybody's name. And then they said, who do we have? And they said, we have Dream. And so I guess that was the character. And then they showed the comic book version of how it was drawn. And I was like, that's dope. And I was like, so they're really being comic book accurate. So I'm excited about that, because it's very sci-fi, it looks like it's going to be a gritty tone, and it's like it's going to be something that's going to be very good. So I'm excited about that, because though it is still in the comic book world as Marvel and DC has comic book world, a lot of things come from books. You see a lot of movies and stuff come from books. I'm excited because this is something else. I love Marvel and DC, but we can all use something else from books and things that seem like it will stick. So I'm excited about this. I'm really interested to see.
It's not Marvel's Sandman, right?
No, I know that. That's why I'm excited, because it's not Marvel and DC. It's something totally different.
DC's.
It's a DC property, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I could have sworn it wasn't.
It's based off of the DC's comic book, The Sandman.
Nah. Okay. Well, my bad, people. This is why we have a comic book expert. As you can see his background back there. That's why he's here. Because if he wasn't here, I'll probably tell you the Superman's in it. And then I'll say that then Spider-Man jumped on Superman's back. And then they flew and Spider-Man was webbing up all the sand.
Well,
see, you don't want me to tell you stuff like that.
No, I'm playing. Since you mentioned it, no, I'm playing.
Since you mentioned it, there is one comic book. No. So I'm excited about that. The next thing I wanted to talk about for you guys, let's jump right on into it. Oh, man. Should I talk about that one? No, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it, because I'm excited about Cowboy Bebop. We talked about it on my show and Snake's show, respectively, in different times. I think we talked about it 4 times completely so far. Maybe 5. But so what was exciting about this is that, all right, so John Cho, if you've been following this whole thing, everybody's not liked it, because especially if you're following our shows, you found out that they weren't sure, because they seen the pictures, certain things were off, but as you know, certain things have to change. Not trying to. You have him too, me too, they too, them too, everybody too. 2 + 2 is 2, and things of that nature, if you get my drift. So because of that type of thing like that, people can't necessarily be somewhat in skimpy attire, so to speak, without somebody saying something. So you can't necessarily be true to certain things. Some things have to change. And then I'm not trying to be funny. I know that everybody's like, well, Spike is 25. And look, Disney stars that play teenagers are 22, 24. And you don't get mad at them and say, hey, how come they're the star? How come a 16-year-old ain't playing a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old ain't playing a 15-year-old? Have you noticed that 90210 characters and Riverdale characters are grown people? So you telling me you want, if y'all remember the Cuties finasco to happen with FedEx, what am I saying? I'm trying to go to work. I need to leave. Netflix, then you would know that situation was bad because they had actual teenage girls playing those parts from that documentary that caused the uproar. But you know why other shows don't have that, supposedly? Because you have grown people pretending to be teenagers having fake sex instead of, teenagers being teenagers having fake sex and cause all kind of problems. So going back to Cowboy Bebop, the fact that he's in his 40s and he's playing a 25-year-old character, it shouldn't matter. If he could sell it, if he does great, and I'm going to tell you right now, it looks like he sells it to me.
First off, I want to just make a comment to that about the whole teenagers having sex. The world don't give a crap about that. If they did,
they do on TV.
I know if they did, they wouldn't be having this "I'm a teenage mom" crap that's all over the place. Like, so if they did, they wouldn't have that on the show, showing other kids that, hey, you can be one too.
You can be one too.
Because that is not the thing to do, apparently.
Yep. Good anti-Captain Planet reference. I don't know why I winked. I just thought it's probably a commercial somewhere in the multiverse. But it is in the multiverse. It is. I'm 6'2" in the multiverse. So yeah, it's a thing. Yep. But yeah. So they did the title sequence from the Cowboy Bebop anime from 1991. They did the live action, and I was like this. I was like, yeah, let's go. That was cool. And it was just dope. And if you don't think that John Cho has the athleticism in the cartoon version of it, the anime version of it, Spike just does like a roundhouse kick. Wow. I can't do it because you can see my feet. Can't see my feet on the screen. But John Cho as Spike on the title screen did like that little ninja jump flip kick thing that people do, especially in martial arts tournaments. He did that one. He did that. And if he does that, and I'll be like, oh, it's probably a stunt double. I think it was him. Shut up, stunt double people. I think it was him. I think he did it. And then just his look, he looked good. The whole title screen looked good. They're selling it for me. They're showing that they're going to be very anime accurate. They're showing that they said that they're not going to stick completely to the storyline. They're going to take the storyline and take pieces from that Cowboy Bebop movie, which wasn't a part of the anime as well. It was his own thing. They're going to take both of those and kind of not necessarily merge them, but kind of make its own thing, and which makes sense. And let me explain why it makes sense, people. Because if they play it completely with the anime, if you haven't watched the anime, it was 1991. You should have watched it by now. Watch it. So I'm gonna spoil it. He dies. Boom. Sorry. There you go. End of story. Sorry. I know. Ming-Dee never spoils things for you guys. I'm doing it today. Sorry. I know. Hammer says no such thing as spoilers, so take that, people. But he dies. But But if I know Netflix, and if I know they see something like a cash cow such as Cowboy Bebop, you kind of going to want it to keep going. So I can see them saying, let's change it up a little bit. Let's make it seem like he died and then bring it back and then bring him back. I mean, my sister always says all the time, when he fell through that thing, you don't really know if he died. I mean, technically he died, but because there was nothing else after that anime. It was 1991. They haven't made anything else since. So technically he died. But you can fan fiction write and say, oh, well, maybe he survived. So they now can, if they want to, they can play up to that part and have it to where he seemingly dies and then he comes back and then they can continue on. Because that would just be maybe 2 seasons and then what? We don't even have any more Cowboy Bebop. And what if it's the best show on Netflix and everybody wants it? I'm sure Netflix is going to keep it going. So why not say we're not going to stay completely to the storyline so they can have a season 3, 4, 5, and 6 as long as they don't run out of ideas and then, keep it going. So I'm excited about it. It looks good. I like the so far what I've seen. I can't wait for it. Whatever. If you don't like it, you can just don't watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'll tell you about it. And then you'll watch it because I'm going to tell you it's great. And you're going to go watch it because it's great. That's what I'm going to do because it's great. Last but not the least of them, my boy Henry Cavill got on. And by the way, he's going to be back in that Sherlock Holmes one, in Enola Holmes. I think that's a show or movie or whatever. He was playing Sherlock's sister. I mean, he was Sherlock and his sister was on there, but he was playing Sherlock. So apparently it was good. Apparently he was a good Sherlock. So I think it's kind of weird you got Sherlock as like buff. So I kind of want to watch it now because Sherlock is buff. I've never seen any Sherlock, even Robert Downey Jr. when he played Sherlock, he wasn't like buff. He was cut, but he wasn't buff. So I kind of interested to see Sherlock Holmes, just big 6 foot buff dude walking around solving crime. I'm interested in that. Now I'm interested to see. I'm gonna go watch it anyway. The main thing, The Witcher 2. It was amazing. The cinematography, what they showed with Henry Cavill's character, with Geralt, what they showed with Vesemir, which is the guy that was on the anime one or whatever. We actually see the character, the guy that plays him, and the guy that plays him he looks spot on. I know a lot of people wanted Mark Hamill. I'm sorry, I don't think Mark Hamill could have pulled that off completely. I think he would have been dope, but I don't think he would have pulled off the look the way this guy pulled off the look. The guy looks exactly like the dude from the video game. I mean, I'm looking at this guy like, yo, that looks like him. Like he's directly out the video game, like 100%. It's like they just grabbed him out the video game and teleported him here. That's the guy in the video game. That's not an actor. That's the real dude. Like he's a real Witcher, like in real life. Like that's the thing. Like so. And then the magic. We actually got to see more of the girl. She has black hair in this one and not white hair. I'm assuming because it's not further on in the thing. But the character that what is her name? I can't remember her name right now. Forgive me. But the character that Geralt falls in love with or whatever. We got to see her and her immense power. She like blazed the forest and engulfed the entire town and like she killed everybody in the town or whatever. So apparently she's supposed to be a powerful witch, not more powerful than the girl. The little girl is supposed to be the most powerful witch of all, supposed to be able to like destroy worlds type witch. So, but they showed the other one or whatever that he's supposed to fall in love with. So, and they just showed more of the story. So it looks good. I'm excited about that. You got to see more of the combat. You got to see the other sword that he has. The other sword, the monster killing sword, the one that's silver, the one that's like a special kind of silver that deals and everything. If you play the game, you know that. If you read the books or whatever. It looks amazing. I was really, really, really like, okay. And I know you guys like, Domingo, you've been talking a whole lot about your boys. They didn't really see it. Well, I don't know if they did. Y'all see it to them? Did y'all see it? Pieces? Y'all probably saw highlights.
I saw it.
He saw it. He said, nah, I ain't it. Yeah.
We know him.
Yeah, it was.
You don't do nothing.
But you probably saw a couple of highlights, and I know Snake, you saw it. So anything that like piqued your interest is stuff that I'm probably said it all. If I did, my bad.
Are you talking about the entire 3-hour long thing?
Yeah, I mean like anything in there that was like, I like that. That's dope. I mean, that is the best thing of the whole entire show.
I'm excited for Stranger Things, The Witcher.
Yeah.
I mean the shows that I've been waiting on, like.
Yeah, season 2s.
A lot that you didn't talk
about.
Yeah.
Lock and Key. I totally forgot about Lock and Key. It's back. Like I was now that shocked me. That shocked me. I did not see that coming. I did not see them saying, "Hey, Lock and Key's coming." I really thought they was going to be done with that because they didn't announce anything for such a long time with that. It was like, yeah, they're not bringing it back, but they brought it back.
I was wanting to see my brain. The Nun one, Warrior Nun.
Warrior Nun.
I was wanting to see the Warrior Nun season 2, but
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just not ready for that one yet. But there you go, guys. I know it's like you did an entire segment about Netflix. Don't you just do that on, on the state of streaming? I normally do stuff like that on state of streaming, but next month is something different and dark and scary. It's October, and if you watched the last season of Get Nerdy with me, not them, and well with them too because they're there too. We all get nerdy or whatever. It's not a bad thing. It's not anything weird, weirdos. We in weirdos? October.
All right, you hear that? You hear that? Ham? We're
no, not y'all. The people.
We are the weirdos. Huh.
So I'm a weirdo now.
Right.
That's where we at.
Right.
I thought we were better than this.
We're not the one who had a PlayStation. Huh. Huh.
I wasn't even gonna go there, bro.
We're not even talking about that.
I mean, I do have a PlayStation, but that ain't the point.
That ain't the point. But in October, if you watched last season, I did a lot of like, I tried to do a lot of Halloween-y type of themes. Halloween type themes. I tried to. I tried to do a lot of themes. Like one time I was sitting there with like ham and chicken and I was cutting it and eating it with a knife like I was Hannibal Lecter. So
get them ham hocks.
That would be scary, not sexual, sir. That would be not flirtatious, but scary. Like, but see the difference.
Is the noise you make with the ham hocks and the weenies?
This guy.
It's all right, bro.
Anyway, stay tuned for my show, Prime Time Live with Ming-Dee. Stay tuned with it because next month I have a lot of different stuff coming. So I'll even give you a sneak peek. We will be doing some shuddering on the next episode. So that does help, if you know anything about Shudder or anything like that, then we will talk about that. Some good content there. So there you go. With that said, guys, that is all I have. Thank my boys, the Snake, the Hammer, popped in after saving the world. You know me, I'm Ming-Dee. So with that being said, all the people that signed on that was here, thank you guys for, speaking and talking and typing and all that. Continue it, share it, like it, and do all that good old jazz. We will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Okay, bye.